What's up, Infected? Welcome to the Kwarenteen. Today we're going to be taking a look at a game that's coming to Kickstarter by the name of Ninjitsu. Now, if you like what you see in this video, I'll provide a link up in the corner and down in the description that'll take you directly to their Kickstarter when it's available, and it'll provide way more information than I could possibly cover in this video. Now, before we continue, I do have to let you know that everything you see here in this review is a Kickstarter prototype of the game, so it is of course subject to change. Now, what is Ninjitsu? Well, Ninjitsu is a small card-driven kind of a stealth bluffing game where you're trying to get to 21. Now, I know that sounds kind of a little bit like blackjack, but it's got a little twist on it where a lot of the cards have special abilities, and you can either play them for their numerical values, such as 8, or you can play them for their ability and do all kinds of things to the opponents, such as like stealing their treasure. And then there's a little bit of a bluffing and subterfuge aspect to the game. So that's really the best way to explain the game. So let's just go over to how it's played. In Ninjitsu, the players are trying to get 21 points worth of treasure by any means necessary. Now, the way you do that is by the numerical number on the cards, such as this 4 has 4 points worth of treasure. This 3 would have 3, this 5 of course would have 5. However, where it's different from blackjack is an ace provides no treasure, a king, and even a joker provide no treasure. It's only the actual number cards, which would be 2 through 10, actually provide any treasure. Now, to set up Ninjitsu is pretty simple. You're going to give each player 4 cards, and that's it. You're ready to play. On your turn, you can do one of 3 different actions. You could play a card, and to play a card, you will either play it face up in front of you for the treasure value. You would play it face down if it has a mask here, face down in front of you. Now, you would still get that treasure value in this case. You could draw 2 cards and add them to your hand, or you could swipe somebody else's face down treasure. Now let's break down how playing a card works. So as I already mentioned, there are multiple ways you can play cards. Now, I mentioned you can play a card face up in front of you for the treasure value, such as this 5. I can play this in front of me and I have 5 of my 21 treasure. And I mentioned I can play this face down because it has the mask here. I can play it face down. This still would give me 10 treasure, so if I have both of these, that would be 15, but my opponent doesn't know what this treasure is. However, the other thing you can play a card with is, or the only other way you can play a card is I could play this to the discard pile for this ability. And you can do that with any card except for a card that has a mask. So rather than playing this face up in front of me, I can play it face up in the discard pile in order to perform the ability on the bottom of this card. The other action I mentioned is you can swipe a face down treasure card. So if my opponent were to have this in front of them, my turn, I could take this card and swipe it and put it in front of me. But when you do that, you have to take this card and you have to reveal it. By revealing the card, you still get the treasure, but you have to perform the ability that's on the bottom of the card. And then, of course, the last thing you can do is draw 2 cards. You may have noticed that the players do not draw a card at the beginning of their turn, because they have to perform their action in order to draw 2 cards, effectively giving them one less turn that they place treasure down in front of them. Each player is going to take turns, one at a time, performing one of those 3 actions. First person to reach 21 points, face up and face down in front of them, is declared the winner. However, if a player mistakenly declares that they have 21 and they actually do not, such as here, then they instead skip their entire next turn and do not get an action. Alright, Ninjitsu. Well, first and foremost out of the gates, I'm definitely going to mention that the artwork in this game is very, very cute. You have these animals that are dressed up as, ninja, and they're fighting, and you're kind of got this weird, like, Disney meets Saturday cartoon meets feudal Japan kind of artwork, and it's really cute. I definitely like the artwork in the game, but you're watching this because you want to know how the game actually plays. And overall, we enjoy the game. It's a very quick, very family-weight little game that the kids can enjoy, the parents can enjoy. It's just all around fun and cute when somebody looks across the table and goes, I'm gonna steal that face down treasure. And they're gonna get to keep that treasure, but then, you know, depending on what the card is, there's some pretty bad treasure abilities out there when they steal it, and they're called trap abilities. And they steal it and they have to activate this trap, which is super devastating sometimes. Which leads me to probably our biggest issue that we do have with the game, is if you look at this 10 right here, that is 10 points worth of treasure you're gonna get. And the only thing you have to do if you steal that from me is you just discard a card. Whoop-de-doo. And that's pretty much our running theme with the game, is the high points value cards that you would place face down don't have a very strong ability on it. The lower number cards that you get to place face down, they seem to have better abilities on them, and you would think those roles would be swapped because you're getting 10 of my points and all you have to do is discard a card. And that's really the biggest and really the only problem we had with the game. So, I mean, it's a pretty big deal. And maybe that'll be kind of mixed up a little bit during the Kickstarter and, you know, ironing things out. I don't know. But overall, yes, I recommend Ninjitsu. It's very quick, very fun. It's a very fun, fast, light little family weight game. My daughter enjoyed it, my brother enjoyed it, dad enjoyed it, wife enjoyed it, and I enjoyed it. Even with those flaws, because the game, yes, it's a huge flaw. The game takes like 5 minutes to play, if that. It's a good little filler game while you're setting up another game, or maybe if you're having a family dinner, play it between dinner and dessert. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, something like that. So it fits that role really, really nicely. It's a fun little filler game. So I do recommend, especially if you have kids, checking out that Kickstarter link. It is a good, fun little game. Again, if you like it, I'll have a link up here in the corner down in the description. Provide way more information than I can possibly cover. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys next time in the quarantine.